In the days of early baseball, there was an ongoing debate about the acceptability of gentlemen playing a child's game. The concept of leisure time was emerging in American cities. The proper use of this leisure time was being debated. In baseball, the practice of hitting the runner with the ball for an out, called soaking, was seen as child's play. It became apparent that a new, more manly way of playing ball was needed.
Daddy, tell me a baseball story, please.
Okay, Ben boy, just one, but then it's going to be bedtime for you. Let's see what we have here. Let me take a look. I have one in mind. It's one I don't think you've ever heard before. Once upon a time, children would play. A bat and ball were all they needed to pass the hours away. Any open field or lot would do. Imaginations ran wild as fun they did pursue. The pitcher lobbed the ball toward the plate, no idea of its impending fate. Little Jimmy took a mighty swing and hit the ball hard. The fielders would chase after it throughout the yard. Almost any object served as a base. Jimmy circled the diamond at a very swift pace. Like a ship lost at sea, the ball was run down and relayed to short, the fielders directing its course to the proper port. Jimmy galloped between second and third, the ball thrown at him like a migrating bird. Fast and true, it stayed on track, successfully soaking Jimmy square in the back. Jimmy stumbled and let forth an agonized whelp, while the fielders yelled in unison, "You're out!"
Daddy, what's soaking?
Well, in order to get a runner out, you had to hit him with the ball.
What? That sounds like it really hurt.
Yes, it most certainly did, especially if you were hit in a sensitive area.
Right, like in the peanuts.
Oh, hitting runners with the ball was considered too childish for grown-ups. This presented a problem for men who wanted to play, so they had to come up with a new manly way. Let's continue the poem. Men often gazed upon the children at play, wishing they could share in such a day. But with each attempt to join in the fray, wives could be heard screaming, "You can't play!" Alas, back then, work was man's fate, which they often came to hate. But gentlemen were determined to play at any rate, not letting women determine their fate.
What does fate mean?
Well, Ben, fate means a person has very few choices about his future. History tells us that men became so desperate to play ball, they would pay a couple of friends to go to the saloon and come home roaring drunk, while the rest of the guys would play ball. It wasn't too long until a housewife was heard yelling at her drunk husband, "Why didn't you go play ball with the rest of the guys?" Let me tell you, Ben, they almost held a ticker tape parade for their hero, Sam McGillicuddy. If there was a spot, he would be in the Drunks Hall of Fame. That night was the key breakthrough for the acceptability of men playing ball. Old Sam had taken one for the team. Which reminds me, and few people know this, Ben, but it was Sam's heroic action that night that instigated the first use of this phrase. So you see, taking one for the team has a proud heritage.
Indeed it does.
Let's continue. Soon more groups of men would gather, not able to resist being the batter. The numbers grew despite the scorn of some, for these gentlemen could not be kept from joining all the fun. Men soon practiced with a zeal normally reserved for work, using the excuse they had added a new quirk. They abolished soaking the runner, making their new manly game acceptable and funner. These pioneer men received acclaim and fame. Before long, this child's play became the national game.
Did grown-ups steal the game from the kids?
Well, Ben, that's a very astute question for such a young tyke. But I prefer to think of it this way. Men wanted to play too, so badly in fact, that they changed the game so they could play ball with their sons. You know how we play catch in the backyard.
Yeah, I love playing catch.
Years from now, we'll remember those moments as some of our best times together.
Thanks for the story.
Night, Ben.
Good night.
I love you.
I love you too.
Submit tonight's Twisted Mind Contest historical error answer by emailing twistedmindcontest@churchofbaseball.com. Don't forget to tune in Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 weeks from tonight, for the next episode of Ben Boy's Bedtime Stories, titled Fatherhood and Baseball. This episode will have 2 historical error winners. Could one of them be worth $2,500? Visit us on Facebook at Church of Baseball and our website, churchofbaseball.com, for tonight's answer and this week's Twisted Mind Contest winner. Also be sure to check out Church of Baseball products page for our latest edition, Igor Jr., Father of Baseball. For now, Pastor Paul bids you a fond farewell, wishing you a tomorrow where
all your efforts result in assists, not errors.